Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope you are doing super amazingly fantabulous today. Oh, I just realized what I said after I said it. What? Super amazingly fantabulous? Is that even what I said? I don't even remember what I said. That is honestly so concerning, but we're just gonna forget that even happened. I never said that. You did not just hear that. Anyways, as you could tell by the title, we are back with another episode of Tall Girl Reacts to Tall Girl Problem series. Did you forget about this series? Because I did. I forgot about this series. See, I think it started when I did that episode about lying about my height for a whole year. And then after that, I just got a bunch of requests. Oh, and by the way, if there's something specific you'd like to hear me talk about on this podcast, a specific topic, any advice, story time topic, I guess you could say, whatever, just feel free to hit me up at a Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. But I was dealing with a bunch of episode requests, which I'm extremely grateful for. But I genuinely did forget about this series, so that's an oopsie on my part. Anyways, if you're new here, if you're new to this podcast, or just new to this series, hi, my name is India, as I said before, but Tall Girl Reacts to Tall Girl Problem series is basically a series where I, a tall girl, react to different posts of tall girl problems that are on the internet. You can find them on Pinterest, you can find them on Tumblr, you know the vibe. And I basically react to them and see if they are actual problems that tall girls can relate to, or exposing them as lies. I feel like we've got a halfway decent mixture. Some of them are problems that us tall girls actually face, but the others are, I don't know, I feel like they're extreme. They're extra, over the top, out of pocket, whatever other word or phrase I can think of to basically describe the fact that if you're 7 feet tall, maybe you've experienced it, but under that, it's just not plausible. So maybe those are fake. You never really know these days. But let's just get into it. You know what I mean? So first one we have for today: running into short people because you are looking straight ahead. Oh my gosh. Actually, that was one of my posts last week on Instagram, or a couple weeks ago. I don't even remember. By the way, follow me on there at a Tall Girls Podcast. But I do this all the time. My line of view is above a lot of people's heads, and I just don't see them. So yes, I've ran over little toddlers, little kids, adults, even my friends, and I'm like, sorry, you just weren't in my line of view. And they're like, oh my gosh, am I just not important to you? And I'm like, you just were not in my direct line of view. I don't know what you want me to do, because looking down all the time plays into neck problems and also plays into back and shoulder problems. And I'm not trying to have that. So I'm going to look straight ahead and possibly walk into you. I'm sorry. Do you guys do that? Does that ever happen to you? Have you ever just been looking straight ahead because your line of view is obviously straight ahead of you, and you happen to just walk into somebody who's shorter than you? Let me know. I want to know if you just walked into a person because you did not see them, just so I can feel like I'm not the only one that does that. But yes, walking into people is definitely a tall girl problem. I agree. Next one: when you see a cute guy under 5'9", but you don't even acknowledge him because you know he's too short for you. Okay, I feel like it depends here. The don't even acknowledge him because he's too short, like if you just stop there, I feel like that would have made sense because that could apply to the last one that I just discussed. He just was not in your direct line of view. So he just happens to be a cute guy, but you didn't see him. That has happened to me more so with people who are like 5'8" and 5'7". Like, I'm sorry, I did not see you there. But now you're saying he's too short for you. Well, like I said, it depends. I'm over 5'10", don't know my exact height yet. I will hopefully find out this summer when I go back to the doctor. So I'm closer to him in height because I'm still in the 5s area, you know? And honestly, there is no shame in dating someone who's shorter than you. There is none. I even saw a post on Instagram the other day of a girl who was 6'4" dating a man who was 5'10". Okay? Love is love. Love does not have a height. What the heck does that even mean? Love does not have a height. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't necessarily discriminate against shorter men, okay? They have personalities at least. Let me tell you, some of these tall men don't have personalities. What? You're tall and you don't have a personality? Being tall is a personality. Being tall is my personality. But some of these tall men don't have personalities. They have no humor. They have no backstory. They don't even have trauma that we could relate to. You know how sometimes you just connect with the person because of the person that you hate, like you hate the same person. You also connect with the person because you went through the same trauma. So it's like, oh, you get it. You get me. I can relate to you, blah, blah, blah. You want to spend time with them. They don't even have that. It was just like bland. How does that work? And you're tall too. Things must have happened to you. People probably bullied you at some point. It doesn't even have to be because you're tall, but like other reasons. I'm dwelling too much on this. But some short men have better personalities than tall men. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? And I know people have preferences, but hey, you never know. Now, if you're like a whole foot taller than them, like if you're 6'9" and the man is 5'9", I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Personally, I'm over 5'10". I'm not gonna go for someone who's 5 feet. I'm sorry. Nothing against the person. You could be a great person, but it's just the whole foot thing. I'm not trying to bend down. You don't need to be like, what's his name? Dunkelman from the Tall Girl movie that I did a review on. You don't have to be like him and carry around a crate. Come on, it's too much. It's way too much. And even if you carried a crate and stood on it, you still would be shorter than me. You would still be shorter than me. But I don't know. You never know. You can still like the man. And if you do like him, go for it. Like I said, you never know. But I can see that this is a tall girl problem, but I think the height just kind of threw it off. Like saying, yeah, he's 5'9", but he's too short for you, so you don't acknowledge it. Like, that's a little excessive. You don't need to go that far. But cannot be. Depends, like I said before. Next one, getting in and out of little cars and hitting your head. Oh my gosh, this used to happen to me all the time, especially when I was younger. Maybe I guess it was like the time period I was in, but for some reason, other people's cars, like my friends, like when I used to play basketball, my teammates' cars, like I said, I just think this was a trend. All of them had cars that were close to the ground. They used to have low cars, so I would have to squat illegally. I would have to illegally squat. And by the way, an illegal squat is a squat that can potentially injure you if you do it too much, especially if you have weights. So don't illegal squat. But I used to illegally squat to get into the car, and then getting out of the car is a process. People had to help me out. And it wasn't like I was in pain, like, oh my gosh, help, like I'm in pain. It was genuinely because the car was so low, I had a hard time getting up. And even when I was getting up, I would still hit my head on the top of the car. Oh my gosh. There are honestly so many problems with cars. Like when you sit in a seat and somebody, like the driver's seat, and somebody moved it up to be closer to the steering wheel, and you get in without moving it back, and then you just hit your knee on whatever is in front of you. Or when you just sit in a car and you sit in the back seat behind somebody and they refuse to move their seat up, so your knees are just touching the back of the seat. No. Or when you try to stretch out across the other seat to the other seat, but there's somebody sitting on the other side and you accidentally kick them, but you're like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have any space. All in all, cars are dangerous. Cars are literally dangerous for tall people. Like, they really do cause bruises on your knees, on your forehead, on your hips, on your elbows. They need to come with like warning signs or something. If you're a certain height that's too tall for the car, they need to put that height and the warning on the car especially when you first purchase it. It could say, if you're this tall, beware. So let's say you're a 6'4". If you're 6'4" and over, beware of hitting your forehead. Or if you're 5'9", and up, beware of low seat. Something, anything. Come on. You get paid tens of thousands of dollars for these cars. Like, what's an extra warning sign? But yeah, little cars are not the move, as you can probably tell by my rants. This is definitely a tall girl problem. Even if you're at least, and this happened when I was younger, so like 5'6", 5'7", but you're a 10-year-old and you're getting into those low cars, and then once you start hitting like 5'9", 5'10", it's pretty much over for you at that point. Yeah, that's it for today. I can feel the anger in my veins right now because we were talking about cars, but I really liked this batch. This was a really diverse batch and they really hit. These are tall girl problems for sure. Well, I don't know, the one about the 5'9" guy, that was a little sus. That was a little sketchy, but all in all, it was pretty good. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. And as always, feel free to hit me up on my socials at A Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. And let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know what you think of this series. Let me know what you think of this podcast. Let me know what you think of life. Just life in general. Let me know how you're doing. How's it going? All of that good stuff. But yeah, my messages, my DMs are always open. I love when you guys hit me up. So please do so. All my socials are going to be linked below, so it's easy for you. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day, week, month, year, and life. I'll catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.